Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another manga review. And in this manga review it is of Assassination Classroom, the box set. I've recently just finished the last volume of it today, so by the time that this video goes up, hopefully by then I should be starting the next manga box set. Well, what can I say about this particular box set? It was really enjoyable and fun to read through every volume connected to the Assassination Classroom anime series, because I want to put this out first, is that I have watched the anime series before even reading the manga, or I have read, say, a few of the manga, and over time I ended up getting rid of that manga so I could get the box set, and finally getting around to the box set, I will show you some of my favorite volumes in connection to this series. So I'll work on that now. Alright, this next part is going to include some spoilers, so stay tuned. And if you don't want to see spoilers, I advise you go pick up this manga box set for yourself. You'll enjoy reading through every volume in relation to this series. So, moving into the first couple of volumes in relation to this series, it really gets you to understand the situation, what's happened with the Earth, and who Koro Sensei is. And in the first volume, you also get the Tentacle Man being named Koro Sensei. And as we move into the second, we also get some new characters along the way. And this, it doesn't go fully throughout the series in getting like some new characters that will join the class, but it is interesting when it brings it along. So the first two volumes are definitely a read through. Now these are just out of some of my favorite volumes. Now when we move to volume 11, I must admit I really enjoyed the anime adaptation of actually what happens in volume 11. And yes, I am probably going to end up bringing up a little bit of a comparison compared to both, because after now reading it and also watching it, I must admit I felt more invested in the manga than what I did in the anime. But that's just personal preference. For other people, it might be the other way around, and that's understandable. Now, in volume 11, we have a character whose name means justice. On top of that, he also has family members who are somewhat connected to the justice system. But the lesson that is taught in this is really good, and I appreciate what Yusei Matsui did in this storyline, because it's not sure, you might have a name, but that name that you were given doesn't completely define who you are. And that is why I actually picked volume 11. Now, moving towards the next three favorite volumes, so these are pretty much the favorite volumes of which I really enjoyed in the series. Now, in volumes 18 and 19, things move closer towards the end of the story, to which there's a bit of a bit of a rivalry in the classroom, and this happens around Nagisa and Kama Akabani. And the question is, the thing is, one wants to save Koro Sensei, in other words, to try to bring him back to, spoiler, human form, to which he once was before he was operated on. And you do actually get to see how Koro Sensei actually became who he was, including his assassin name, to which he was called the Grim Reaper. We end up meeting someone called the Grim Reaper too, to which they themselves tried to look for approval from Koro Sensei. The list continues. And I must admit, when you start to move like to the end of the story, things really do change. And I mean, things really do change. Now, the anime ending compared to the manga ending is two completely different things. In the manga ending, in the anime ending, in relation to the characters and the classroom, in how the anime ended, it gave the money to the students, like, who were responsible to killing him. But in the manga, you don't actually see that. So, in slight comparison, I sort of do like what the anime did. But when it moves into the manga, you don't actually get to see that. And in it, they do actually still pursue their goals. They still manage to achieve their goals, which is just as good. And I enjoyed that too. And if I were to say compare the anime, I think with the anime, in some places it was a little bit rushed. But when you go through the manga, there are some areas to which you do actually get a bit of a deep dive into every person who attends the classroom. You get a bit of a deep dive into Koro Sensei's character, and also the character who will eventually take over later on for Class E. Now, as I move towards the last volume here, which I also enjoyed, it takes place after, or it moves into, say, the key events after what happens leading to the death of Koro Sensei. And it's not until like the next volume after this one that you actually see what happens with the class. Now, volume 20 is actually where you do see the death of Koro Sensei. And it's like a real touching event. And I admit, I did not want to stop this series. I even tried to hold off from reading the last volume. I enjoyed it that much because of the time that I've had to put in, not only reading this manga, but also other manga outside of this. Yeah, I don't really care that they're fictional characters, but you know what? It was a well-driven story. Now, this set of manga does include some additional items, but I'm not going to show you those items. You can go and find out for yourself what they are. But now it's time for the overall rating for the series. And I'm going to give, like, overall, like, from beginning to end. The beginning of the series, I'll set it on in relation to, say, maybe the first 10. A 8 out of 10, and that also goes for the art. When it goes, so from 11 onwards, a straight 8.5 out of 10, but for the story, but a 9 for the art because of how well the art improves within the story. So until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.